Late start to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, but welcome to Memorial Field as East Grand Rapids has built an early 3-0 lead over the Grand Ledge Comets. I'm Matt Gajtka. Gorgeous Saturday afternoon as we start the final week of the regular season. Oh, it deflects in for Grand Ledge, a strange one, off the body of Alex Honig. And, well, the Comets get a bounce, and they have a goal. It's 3-1 with 6:30 left in the first quarter. Coming off the timeout called by Grand Ledge, and the Comets came out of that break with the ball, and they convert. So the team that came into today's game with a record of 11-2 for Coach Michael Transith, they have a foothold, but East Grand Rapids, another fantastic start here at home. That's been a trend in most of their games. Outside of a couple, they have sprinted to a big advantage in the first quarter. East in the white home uniforms, as usual, as it's picked up off the draw control by James Wiener. He fires it into the left corner to Bennett Winkle, who already has a goal and an assist. Oliver Owen has 2 goals. He scored 2 in 10 seconds for East to raise the lead from 1-3. And so Winkle sets the table, giving it back to his senior classmate Owen Stropke. Just a couple of home games left for these seniors before the playoffs begin. 4 games in 7 days to end the regular season for East Grand Rapids. Starting with this one, this matinee, day before Mother's Day. Time to get locked in for the run to the postseason. Stropke with a hop, cuts inside, lays it back. Here's a shot from Buck that sails high and wide of the goalkeeper, which is Eli Zakshevsky, Jr. for Grand Ledge. It is Quinn Irwin between the pipes for East Grand Rapids as Zakshevsky handles the loose ball at the side of his cage. Mishandled by Gavin Buck, and Zakshevsky settles in behind his crease. 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Another broadcast here on the EGR Lax Media live stream. Thank you for joining us, whether you're a Pioneers fan or a Comets fan. As Ryan Balser made a man miss at midfield, that was Gavin Buck, who looks back a little dejectedly. The Comets bench loved that. The Comets in their gold uniforms, gold jersey tops, I should say, with the white lettering, maybe a little bit tough for someone like me who doesn't see these players every day to pick them out quickly, but I'll do my best as always. Blue and gold against blue and gold, and a driving behind the back shot, save made by Irwin. The rebound swatted just wide of the goalpost by Mason Myers from in tight. The man who took the initial shot, though, was Tyson Cooper. That was a slick move, and he nearly scored with it, or nearly, at the very least, set up a goal with the rebound chance. Wiener to midfield, Stropke taken down, loose ball, flag comes in, and the Pioneers' Brady Ross tries to shovel it forward, but it's picked up by Brody Nichols, and that triggers the whistle and the penalty coming against Grand Ledge. 4:24 to go in the first quarter, and our first man-up opportunity for either side goes to the Nears. The Pioneers with a record of 11-3. The last broadcast we had for them, they fell in a bit of a stunner. Although Rockford is definitely building a reputation here with this current group. They fell 11-10 to Rockford on the 29th of April. But since then, easy wins, or at least convincing wins, I should say, against Grand Rapids Catholic Central and Okemos and Hazlitt. Catholic Central game was here. Those other two were on the road. And it's Ross, giving it off to Owen for the shot. He rises and scores 3 goals in the first quarter for Oliver Owen. The leaping shot, Stropke gets the assist, and it's 4-1. And Oliver Owen showing a hot stick in the early going. We were talking in the pregame up here in the box about how, well, you don't need that much of a warm-up on a day like today. Temperatures should be approaching 80. Not a cloud in the sky, a little bit hazy, in fact. Has more of a June or July feel here in early May. Scooped off the turf by Caden Gosens, and the Pioneers try to add to their lead. Here he comes over the restraining line, pass into the middle, and Gavin Buck couldn't take it cleanly. But it's off free to Owen. Will he shoot it again? Yes, he will, but that one was released a little bit early, and it drifts out over the end line, well over the goal. The Pioneers, Bennett Winkle triggers it back into action as East Grand Rapids makes a couple of changes. Fifely and Dylan Buck check in. Leading goal getter for the Pioneers, well, it's Ethan Fifely tied with Sam Zykowski. Each have 24 apiece. Fifely number 8 in white. Keep an eye on him. But it's Owen, who's been great to start, passing it off to Stropke. And there's Fifley getting the handle. Fifley also an 85% shot on goal rate. He's been accurate. Bounces into the goal. The Pioneers get a lucky deflection off of Winkle. He wasn't trying to shoot that as it bounced off of him and then maybe off a defender and right through the legs of Eli Zakshevsky for a 5-1 advantage. Winkle's second of the afternoon. 3:17 remaining in the quarter. So a couple of sloppy ones in this first quarter, one for each side, so we're even in that way. But there's no room for pictures on the scorecard, as they say in the game of golf. Another way to put that, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And so far it's 5 on the board already for the Pioneers. Owen puts his man in the spin cycle. That was Underhill who went down. Oliver Owen passing behind the goal. Now in front. Quick stick chance. And Bernard is robbed by Zakshevsky. Point blank. Brogan Bernard stepping up and trying to get his first goal of the season. Trotting over midfield. It's Kiefer. Now in close. A shot. And Irwin denies Evan Sparks from 5 feet out. Good passing from the Comets, but they can't convert for the goal. It's still 5-1. Under 3 to play in the opening quarter. Myers, the lefty pass to the left wing. That's where Honig settles in. Operating against James Wiener, the long stick for Wiener. And it's dished off to Balser, going up against Bennett. Balser, sharp angle. I think he was trying to shoot that. It ended up being more of a pass to Myers, but he couldn't handle it. And the Pioneers are away down the far sideline. Into the attacking end they go. And Gavin Buck took that pass from Luke Stark. Should have known it was him. He's got great speed, does Stark. He was just sprinting down the sideline. In front, Buck shot low, and he scores under Zakshevsky. Gavin Buck connects from 10 yards out. Winkle's got another assist. How about 4 points in the first quarter for Bennett Winkle? 2 goals, 2 helpers. 2:02 left. 6-1. The Pioneers had to grind a bit in some recent wins. Okemos, Hazlitt, they won those by 10 and 11 goals respectively, but took them a while to start firing on all those cylinders. Like I said, the playoffs are looming. Urgency should be high. Stark collects a loose ball off the carom, and there goes Luke Stark again. The junior with a pirouette and accurate on the pass to Oliver Owen. He scans his options, does Owen, trotting. Still keeping it over the line. Buck and Fifley in. That's Dylan Buck joining his brother Gavin. Dylan is 16. Gavin is 2. Gavin's got 23 goals on the year now, 1 behind Fifley and Zykowski for the team lead. Fifley taking on his man. Looking to draw and fire, and he does. Bouncing shot from Dylan Buck. Fought off by Zakshevsky. Takes the pass back from Brody Nichols as the Comets use their keeper as a conduit to try to break through the EGR ride. Whistle sounds. The official on the near wing saying something to Zakshevsky. Some sort of infraction's been called against Grand Ledge, I believe, with exactly 1 minute to go, and now the Stripes are going to talk about it. 1 minute remaining in the quarter. So ball stays with Grand Ledge. And the clock is winding. So we've got that sorted out. No violation against the visitors. Cooper lost control of the ball at midfield. Swatted ahead by Bennett Winkle, but right back into the possession of the Comets. And it's Gabe Sexton slithering past Oliver Owen. Trying to get to that 30-yard line, restraining line, but the ball's knocked out of his cross, and a timeout was called before all that. Timeout, Grand Ledge, with 40 seconds left in the quarter. Score remains 6-1. And as I mentioned, East Grand Rapids with 4 games in the final week. They've got Byron Center on Tuesday on the road, Spring Lake here on Wednesday. That's the final home game. And then Brighton on Friday. And the playoffs will begin 2 Wednesdays from now. According to the MHSAA website, it'll be that first-round game at Al Ritt Field in Dexter to start the regional against a to-be-determined opponent. Some teams have their opponent already. The Pioneers do not. And again, that's a Wednesday 7 o'clock face-off from Dexter for the playoffs on the 21st. But still 4 more regular season games to tune up for Kyle Ozapoff, the fourth-year head coach. He's 52-19 at East Grand Rapids. They picked up a couple of key wins this year. They beat Forest Hill Central for the first time under Coach KO and also defeated Detroit Country Day for the first time since he took over for the 2022 season. Now they're trying to win a state championship for the first time under Coach KO. So that's the quest, and we've got many steps to go in that quest. But the Pioneers at 11-3, they've definitely put down a solid payment on this one. They've put in a lot of the work. They've got to keep building. Comets start with the ball. After the timeout, I think I might have said Grand Ledge called a timeout earlier in the quarter. That was actually East Grand Rapids, so each side has 1 remaining in the half. 28 seconds left in the quarter. Logan Olivier slows it down. He's been tricky to guard so far. He takes on Brady Ross. Olivier, hands off on the flank. Now a pass across. Low shot score. Good rip from Alex Honing as he skipped it in under Quinn Irwin, and it's 6-2 with 15 seconds left before the break. Grand Ledge breaks the 3-goal run by East Grand Rapids as Honig scores for the second time. Can either side generate something quickly? It'll have to be the Pioneers. Caden Gosens goes straight forward with it. Left it off to Owen. In front, quick stick, and Zakshevsky pins it down as the release from Winkle wasn't what he hoped. 5 seconds left. Hail Mary pass all the way down and just over the top of the goal from Zakshevsky. Lofted that one about 80 yards in the air, but it fell harmlessly to the turf. Go to the second quarter from Memorial Field in East Grand Rapids. Your score, the Pioneers 6 and the Comets 2. Stay with us on the EGR Lax Media live stream. Second quarter from East Grand Rapids. I'm Matt Gajtka. Thank you for watching as the Pioneers lead 6-2. Second to last home game of the regular season. Almost 2 months into the season. We start in mid-March, mid to late March, I suppose you'd say. The Pioneers got a solid segment of games in, as they usually do before spring break. They won 3 of those first 5, most of those against really stiff competition. But it was a good indicator this team could be a contender for the state championship once again. Caden Gosens rushes it over the restraining line all the way behind the net. Short pass to Winkle. Near side delivery to Gavin Buck. Buck is looking and waiting as Luke Stark gets involved in the attack briefly before he'll check back over midfield and onto the bench. The Pioneers send in a couple of attackers in a couple of attacking-minded players, I should say, and Stropke and Dylan Buck. Maybe not necessarily attackmen by trade, but players you want when you're trying to put a few more goals on the board. Fifely, I was saying, Fifely has an 85% shot on goal rate, best mark on the team. When he lets it go, it's usually on frame, and it's usually in the net, honestly, as Stropke picks up the bobble. Hands to Winkle. He's working toward the goal to our left, as you can see on your screen right now. Gavin Buck trying to dodge and fire, and does, and Zakshevsky makes the save low between the legs. Lumped it down to Timothy Hubert. Into the middle. Trying to get by Olivier. Lost control. Dylan Buck right there. Shot it low, and he missed to the right. Buck trying to do it all himself, but couldn't connect as a couple of Comets defenders converged on him. It wasn't the easiest shot, as it turned out, in the end. For a moment, it appeared he was going to have a clean break right to the goal, but didn't pan out. Tyson Cooper, hemmed in by a couple of Pioneers, and he gave it away up the middle of the field. Scooped on the move by Zykowski. That's Will Zykowski. Ball in the air. Luke Stark has it over midfield. With a hop, skip, and a jump, he passes off to the far wing to Owen in the middle. Dylan Buck, low shot blocked. Rejected by Underhill in the middle, but it's still up for grabs. The Comets trying to get out of trouble. Olivier stumbled down, gave it away. Winkle underhand, and he missed it from in close, and he reaches toward his mask, and he bends over in frustration. That ball ended up perfectly in his cross, and he was less than 10 yards from goal, but he couldn't finish it off against Zakshevsky, who was scrambling. No goals yet in the quarter. We remain 6-2. Fifely joins the party in the attacking end. Owen against Olivier. Backs up, lets it rip. Zakshevsky, the routine save, chest high. Underhill lost control of it. Owen in a stick battle for it right near the end line. Underhill puts his glove down on top of it, and he's saying something about whatever Oliver Owen was doing. He was complaining about it, but that's not legal. You can't, you can't do that. And so Owen and the Pioneers get the ball. And the clock winding with 9:27 to go in the second. Buck over the top of Owen. Far corner. Winkle. He has Dylan Buck, Gavin Buck, Fifely, all stacked up in the middle. Stropke as well, right there on the doorstep. It'll be Winkle. Bouncing ball, got away from Gavin Buck, and it's going to be a big battle at midfield if it crosses the stripe. And one of the Pioneers stepped over the line, so that's an offside play, and Grand Ledge gets the ball as a result. Trying to drive down the left wing. Leaving it off was Honig, who already has 2 goals today. Balser hits Dane Evans, 44 in gold. Tyson Cooper, Evans, and around the horn to the far wing again. Evans, Balser. The Comets have lost just twice this year. They lost 12-6 to Heartland, whom the Pioneers defeated. They piled up the goals against Heartland. 21, I believe it was, for a season high. But you can't always play that common opponent game. Doesn't always work out. Everyone's a little bit different on a given day. Cooper got the shot off, but well wide to the left. Behind the goal it goes. It'll be Comets ball. The other loss by Grand Ledge, well, they have something in common with the Pioneers. They also lost to Rockford, 11-7. The Pioneers fell 11-10 a couple of home games ago. Long possession for the Comets. Evans passed it off. Balser taking and looking toward the middle. Backed off as Bennett closed down his avenue. Balser one more time. A little bit of space. Getting cross-checked by Bennett. And a sharp angle chance. That's off the cross of Irwin. And the ball awarded to the Pioneers anyway. Irwin to Ruben Yakiri. Sends it skyward. Far side to Will Zykowski. Up the field it goes to Wiener. And Bennett has the clear complete for the Pioneers. 7:16 left before the half. Bennett to Oliver Owen. Owen against Nichols on the perimeter. So he passes off to Winkle. Deliberate start to the offensive set for the Nears. Still, no goals in the quarter. We had 8 combined, obviously, in the first. Nothing since. Dylan Buck trying to change all that to Fifley. Far wing, Stropke. In close, taking a bump is Oliver Owen. He fires and scores his 4th of the day. Oliver Owen, 7-2 East. Another jumping shot from Owen to create space. The fall away counts. And Owen's 4 goals this afternoon give him 23 on the season. He's one shy of the team lead, held by Fifley and Sam Zykowski. Owen also is the team leader in assists with 31 coming in. So a 6:44 left in the second quarter. The ice is broken, and we do have a goal in this frame. Gosens, expert ball protection, and he works it ahead. Down to our left again, the Pioneers at work. Winkle to Gavin Buck. Chokes down on the stick. Cradles and waits. Dylan Buck. Big time downshift in terms of tempo for the Pioneers as they whip it around the outside. There's Owen passing it right-handed. He's a lefty shot, is Owen, or that's his strong side at least. Burrowing inside, Gavin Buck dumps it into the goal. Great move, the spin, and the finish, and it's 8-2. Gavin Buck's got 2 today. 2 goals in 44 seconds. And the Pioneers putting a hold on this one, up by 6. It's their largest lead of the day, at least so far, precisely midway through the second. Nichols battling Gosens. No contest. Gosens again wins it cleanly and takes it away and gives it to Gavin Buck. He's right there again, and he scores again. That's his 3rd. Going low with a bounce inside the left post against Zakshevsky. 2 goals in 9 seconds for Gavin Buck, bettering Oliver Owen's feet earlier in the game by 1 second. And the Pioneers flexing offensively, 9-2. This Pioneers squad has no underclassmen on it. 16 seniors, 12 juniors. Plenty of experience, plenty of skill. A lot of guys who've been there before and are currently doing it as well. Gosens dropped it back after another draw control. Into the middle, dumped off the crossbar by Luke Stark. Would have been a spectacular goal with that long stick. The release point was about 10 feet in the air, but he just couldn't finish it. But back with it come the Comets. On the counter, quick stick score, side of the net. Evan Sparks converts the pass from Mason Myers, and the Comets make it 9-3. 5:29 remaining in the quarter, and funny how the game can open up dramatically in a hurry. No goals in the opening 5+ minutes of this quarter, and over the last 90 seconds, we have 4 goals. 3 of them by East, so the Pioneers are okay with that exchange. And here's Jake Gosens to take the face-off. Going up against Brant Underhill. And Jake trying to follow up his brother's example. It's still free on the carpet. And Grant Ledge will get the face-off this time. After all that, Balser has a step against Jake Gosens, shooting low, and he buries it between Irwin's legs, 9-4. 5:14 remaining before the half. Balser takes it all the way. And for the first time today, the Comets have back-to-back goals. We are at Memorial Field. It's a brilliantly sunny Saturday afternoon. A little bit of breeze, but that feels great on a day like today. You don't complain about the wind when the temp gets above 70, or at least I don't. The Pioneers actually working against that wind, which is coming out of the west, per usual. Back to Caden Gosens, and back to another face-off control. Rips the shot, bouncing off the crossbar. 2 times off the bar for East Grand Rapids in the last minute or so. Stark did it as well. Loose ball near the sideline. It'll stay with the Pioneers. And right back into play quickly goes Bennett Winkle. The dish pass behind the goal. Owen, 4 goals today. He relinquishes it, though, to Oliver Owen, or excuse me, to Owen Stropke. Too many Owens. Oliver Owen Stropke, before and after. Gavin Buck. Bennett Winkle. And Owen, far corner. Back to Winkle, 4.5 left. 9-4, East Grand Rapids. Trying to get to double digits before the half for the first time in a while. Fifely. Dylan Buck. Oliver Owen. Stropke takes it behind the goal. And he comes to a standstill with 5 Pioneers in front. Well, 4 of them right directly in line with the goal. And now they start their maneuvers. Stropke has a wide open man. Bennett Winkle winds and scores. Winkle's third. 10-4. 3-1 left in the half. Stropke picks up his second assist, at least by my accounting. And East does get it to double digits. That's 3 players with at least 3 goals for East Grand Rapids. Winkle, Owen, and Gavin Buck. And in the battle of blue and gold, it's the East Grand Rapids Pioneers strutting their stuff, and the whistle, and it's an offside call against Grand Ledge. The Pioneers' Wiener takes the pass from Zykowski, relays it up the far sideline to Owen. Owen holding, dishing, Dylan Buck, and another successful clear for East. Behind the goal, Bennett Winkle squares up against A.J. Miller of Grand Ledge. Passing off, Gavin Buck. 3:19 left in the quarter, no rush for East, up by 6. The clock is definitely their friend even this early. Winkle trying to break down his man, goes underhand, and Zakshevsky held his ground. I'm not sure if that actually got through to him or it was blocked or maybe hit the outside of the goal frame, but the Comets come up with it anyway. Lowering the shoulder, Tyson Cooper plows right through Owen at midfield. Play allowed to continue on. Cooper, that's a good hard lacrosse play right there. Looked like something we'd see on the football field occasionally right here in the fall. Balser and Honig handling. He points out something and gives to Balser on right wing. 2:26 left. Balser not finding much room against Owen Stropke, so he gave it up to Honig. Out to the top again, Logan Olivier. Olivier filtering it inside. Great pass. Even better shot for Mason Myers. And it's 10-5.
Number 7, Mason Myers.
Assist to Honig, and the Comets have cut it back to a handful. 10-5, 2:07 remaining before the break. A lot of offense in this one, at least so far. The teams have made up for their drought early in the quarter. 4 goals for the Pioneers in the second and 3 for Grand Ledge. On the trot is Caden Gosens. Lofted pass, flagged down by Bennett Winkle. He's going up against Miller again. He's been one of the relied upon defenders for Grand Ledge in this first half. Stropke settles it down. Fifely slings it across. Dylan Buck. Buck to Owen. Side of the goal. 90 seconds left in the half. Winkle allows Gavin Buck to trot toward the net. To clear out for him. Winkle in an isolation play, and he decides to pass out of it after driving. He dished off to Dylan Buck. His pass back to his brother Gavin. It ended up being flagged down by Stropke near the sideline. So the Pioneers survive that mishandle. Winkle got a screen from Dylan Buck briefly, but he pulled it all the way out to the far touchline. Again against Miller. Winkle slipping inside. His pass for Stropke, couldn't take it cleanly. And it's free on the ground. Long stick for Grand Ledge trying to reach in. That's Thomas Kiefer. Still loose, and it does eventually bounce out over the end line, and that goes over to Grand Ledge on the turnover. 41 seconds left. Grand Ledge trailed by 4 after a quarter. If they score here before the buzzer, they'll be back within that same margin. That'd be okay for them. They're just trying to tread water and find their confidence on the road this afternoon. And the Pioneers trying to prevent that. And as you might expect, timeout called by the Comets. They can't take it with them into the second half, so why not with 29 seconds left. For Grand Ledge, 2 goals by Alex Honig, and recently in this quarter, 1 each for Evan Sparks, Ryan Balser, and Mason Myers. For the Pioneers, 4 goals by Oliver Owen. So the Near's top assist man has now jumped up to 23 goals on the year. Like I said, just 1 back of the team lead. Gavin Buck is right there as well. Actually, Gavin Buck has taken over the team lead. He has 25, so Owen is 2 behind him. That gives the Pioneers, just eyeballing it here, 4 players with 20 goals or more, and Dylan Buck is right behind at 19. Actually, Bennett Winkle is part of that group as well, so make that 5 with 20 goals or more. And soon to be 6 once Dylan Buck gets another one. Winkle has 3 goals today. Gavin Buck has 3 goals today. And 1 tally as well. Well, no, that's it. It's 4 goals for Owen, 3 apiece for Winkle. And also Gavin Buck. Turnover, and Quinn Irwin lobs it downfield, going for something big in the final 10 seconds. Winkle takes a look, slings it across. Here's a chance for Ross. He scores just before the buzzer. Brady Ross on the pass from Winkle. And Ross scores his 3rd goal of the year in dramatic fashion to make it 11-5. That went in just before the horn sounded. At least by my accounting, that's going to count. It's on the scoreboard, and we'll go to the break. What a way to finish it off as the Pioneers put in their 5th of the quarter. Ross from Winkle from a decent distance out, but he had no choice but to shoot, and he beats the buzzer. How about that? We'll go to the half. 11-5 Pioneers over the Comets. This is your EGR Lax Media live stream on YouTube. Stay with us. Third quarter set to start. Bennett Winkle, your offensive star so far, but there's a galaxy of them for East Grand Rapids from the first half. Winkle, the senior attackman, has 3 goals and 3 assists. Oliver Owen, also a senior, 4 goals for him. And Gavin Buck, 3 goals as well. Offside the early call against Grand Ledge. The Pioneers flip it around. They'll attack the goal to our right in the third quarter. He scored 6 in the first, 5 in the second. That's a really healthy pace. They'll take that. And they're trying to keep Grand Ledge at arm's length as we start the second half. Gavin Buck to Dylan Buck at the top of the formation. At the attacking end, Stropke delivers it on the money to Owen. Winkle. And like I said, late in the first half, the Pioneers have no reason to rush. Part of playing winning lacrosse is controlling the game when you have the advantage. It is a possession-oriented game. Owen taking a look. Fed it inside. There's Fifley with his first of the day. And Owen gets another assist. His 32nd of the year to lead the team, but his first of the afternoon. But Fifley converts, and he ticks up that shot on goal percentage, which I told you was 85% coming into today. And when you shoot from 5 feet out like that, you're probably going to hit the net as well. But it's in the goal for a 12-5 advantage. Fifley's goal, his 25th. Misspoke in the first half. Didn't even see at the bottom of my sheet. Bennett Winkle has 32 goals, or he had 32 goals coming into today, so he has 35 now. He's your team leader in goals. But the Pioneers have 5 at 20 or more. And this is Stark slipping it inside. The keeper, Zakshevsky, came way out of his crease and got away with it as the ball was deflected away to the far sideline. Hubert scoops it for Grand Ledge. Thrown right over the top of the cage, and that connects on the bounce to Brant Underhill. His pass to the middle of the field. Olivier bobbled it and being swarmed by white jerseys. Olivier waiting, whacked from behind, loose ball, legal play. Gavin Buck forced the turnover. Here is Winkle. Thought I heard a Comet fan or two protesting the no call. But play allowed to continue on. Flipped by Brogan Bernard artfully, but will Gavin Buck be able to get there? He won't. It rolls out. An attempted fancy play from Bernard, but did not work in the end. Comets take it back. Pioneers ride, forces the feed into the midfield area where the turning Olivier couldn't get through. Jack Bennett and Brogan Bernard. Bernard picks it up. No, he does not. It's an offside call. As it turns out, no, excuse me, it does go over to the Pioneers. The call was against Grand Ledge. Fed inside, a backhanded underhand shot from Winkle. That was blocked, but bounced out to the perimeter where Gavin Buck gathers. Dylan Buck takes the bounce on the hop. Fifley, Stropke, Winkle behind. Grand Ledge coming, of course, from the Lansing area, about an hour's drive to EGR. These teams play rather regularly. Stropke, diagonal pass behind, Winkle in front, and there's the finish from Dylan Buck, and he's got his 20th of the year. And EGR has a couple of quick ones to start the second half. Winkle's 4th assist of the day. 13-5. So, again, your 20 goal scorers for East. Winkle has 35 on the year. Fifley has 25. Gavin Buck has 25. Oliver Owen has 23. Sam Zykowski has 24. And now Dylan Buck has 20. That's 6 20-goal scorers after that Dylan Buck finish from right in close. Caden Gosens. Short hop. Catch by Gavin Buck. No, he dropped it. It's still free inside the far side yellow line, and it scoots out over the end line. Pioneers ball. Bernard was closest to it. Number 23 in white. Another senior, one of 16 seniors. Tonight's also prom for East Grand Rapids, so yeah, we're coming down to the home stretch, not just in the lacrosse season, but the high school careers for so many of these young men. Winkle, he's one of those. Distributes to Gavin Buck. Owen Stropke. Gavin Buck. Bennett Winkle plants his foot. Guided it through the middle, but it was behind Dylan Buck, and that's a turnover as it sails out. Rare missed pass from Winkle, who's a setup man extraordinaire, as well as being a great finisher. Scooped up at midfield. Errant delivery by the Comets in. Brady Ross is away. Hits the trailer. Gavin Buck has to pull it away from traffic, and he does. Scoop it with one hand on the stick. 4 minutes into the second half. The Pioneers have the only 2 goals since the break. Owen protects it to the outside. Winkle on the dish to Gavin Buck. Dylan Buck takes it from Stropke. James Wiener got some instruction on the sideline. Now he's back waiting in case the play goes the other way. Pass into the middle, Fifely, and he softly sends it home. On the pass from Stropke. Ethan Fifely again, backhanded, well, call it left-handed, and he threw it submarine style by Zakshevsky. His second goal of the half. Stropke has 3 assists, 7:38 to go in the quarter. East Grand Rapids by 9. Fifely's one of those scorers that just has a touch around the net. Great feel for a variety of shot releases, honestly. He's got the quick stick. He's got the long distance rip. And he's got plays like that. He's had a couple of behind-the-back goals this year that I've seen, at least, in person. Maybe he has more on the road. Juggled into the attacking end by Caden Gosens, and he will get the face-off win with some help as he spins near the touchline, and a timeout called by East Grand Rapids. But anyway, Ethan Fifely has seemingly invented ways to score. That was a new one. I'm not sure he tried to throw that much of a changeup, but it ended up working out quite well. As a keeper, when you're used to the shots coming in hot, when you get one even a little bit softer, it can certainly throw you off, and that seemed to be the case that time for Eli Zakshevsky, the junior goalie for Grand Ledge. Grand Ledge, by the way, does not have as busy of a final week as East Grand Rapids does, but they do have 2 more games before the playoffs. They're at Harper Creek in Battle Creek on Monday, 7 o'clock start, and then they travel to Detroit Country Day for a collision against the Yellow Jackets. That's on Thursday, and they'll open the playoffs the following Monday against East Kentwood at home. So they'll have a home regional game, well, Grand Ledge, so to speak, against the East Kentwood Falcons. And like I said, the Pioneers do not know, at least that's not on my schedule yet that I see here, they do not know who they will play, but they'll be at Dexter on the 21st, 2 Wednesdays from now. Potentially they could play again if they win that first one the following weekend. And I'm going to check with the MHSAA, see if they'd be open to us doing some road playoff broadcasts. We'll see. I will not be able to make that playoff opener at Dexter, though, unfortunately. Owen low pass, but flagged down by Bennett. Coming out of the timeout, Bennett Winkle, I should say. There is a Jack Bennett, so can't use the one name only with him. Owen Stropke, Oliver Owen. Winkle one more time. Charges, feeds. There's Stropke. Shoots and scores. Bar down. Owen Stropke. 7:01 to go in the quarter, and East has another one. That's 4 unanswered since the break. That's 5 in a row in the grand scheme of the game. It was 10-5, but then Brady Ross scored in the final second of the second quarter, literally. And that gave the Pioneers a boost going into the locker room, and here they are scoring the first 5 in a row, or first 4 in a row coming out of the break. Stropke scores his first of the day to go with the 3 assists. And the Pioneers are feeling it offensively. And here they come again. Caden Gosens right up the gut. Two-handed overhand pass, and that was blocked down, but Gosens collects it anyway. There's Winkle in his familiar spot. Stark shooting. Good save by Zakshevsky. Head high. Stark pulled the trigger. That right-handed drive. Underhill. Sprays it out on the far side. Running near wing. Trying to avoid pressure. That's 18 Thomas Kiefer. Again, the white numbers on the gold jerseys. A little tough to pick up. Balser, I'm sure if you're a Comets fan watching, you're saying, well, that's obviously this guy because you've seen them. You know what they look like. First time getting eyes on the Comets for me, though. Evans nearly handcuffed Honig with the pass, but he handled it quite well. Honig, who scored a couple of goals in the first quarter, hasn't gotten one since. The Comets offense in neutral. Shot off the post, though, on a charging shot from Cooper. That hit the left iron. More than halfway through the third quarter. Comets need something to prevent the Pioneers from totally running away with this one. It's their first possession in a long time, maybe in the half, as Myers gave it off to Honig, dispossessed, but Myers scoops it off the turf. Stark defending against Tyson Cooper. Inside pass. Honig, he hit the bar 2 times off the iron for Grand Ledge. Look at Quinn Irwin chase all the way over to the sideline trying to win possession. And the Pioneers keeper did not. He'll trot back, though. As Grand Ledge restarts, the referee allows Irwin to return to his crease before play is allowed to continue with 5:15 to go in the quarter. And the score is 15-5. Cooper, low shot but wild. Evans, 44 in gold. And the ball's in the cross of Mason Myers after the quick pass. Myers using a screen. Not a lot of room there. Puts a hand down to keep his balance. Feet inside. Whiffed on the shot. Did Sparks. Never had it. Yakiri takes advantage of the space ahead. His pass across. There's a mouth guard loose on the field. I think it belongs to a Comet. Anyway, up the field it goes. Owen down to a knee. Let the shot go, and he missed it to the right. But Winkle was behind, so he's the closest to it easily. The Pioneers keep it. Winkle's dish to the front. Bernard trying to creep in, but he couldn't take the pass. Zakshevsky receives the feed from Nichols. He powers it up the far wing. Cooper over the restraining line. 4:20 left in the quarter. Cooper against Zykowski. The turn. Looking. Has the trailer. And Jenkins shot it, and that's off the iron, too. Quinn Irwin gathers in the rebound. Irwin hits Zykowski. That's Will Zykowski. Pass up the middle. And trotting ahead, Jack Bennett, senior midi. He goes to the bench. The Pioneers trying to add a 5th goal in this quarter. They have not allowed one since the half. Fifely, he has a couple since the break. Dylan Buck nods his head toward Stropke, telling him to make a cut toward the middle. Buck drives, gives against the grain. Gavin Buck. Winkle considered a shot. Thought better of it. Too many bodies in the way. Stropke driving. Owen Stropke, and the shot careens wide off of perhaps Zakshevsky, the keeper. And it is ruled to have been simply a deflected shot, I guess, because it goes to Grand Ledge as opposed to just being a missed shot. I thought the Pioneers were closer to it. Gavin Buck was near that sideline. Apparently didn't play out as I thought it would. The Comets have the clear as they go to work with under 3 minutes left. Drifted back to Olivier. Myers takes the sailing pass. that black cross on his stick. Myers, easy to spot when he has the ball. As a broadcaster, I certainly appreciate that. Some guys with the white cross, they can hide it extremely well. That's all part of the game, of course. Olivier with some space, going up against Fifely, and he buries the shot. Logan Olivier with a riser, and Grand Ledge has their first goal since the half. 2:21 left in the third quarter. Olivier's first of the day, 15-6. And will that do anything to spark the comments? They'll need a couple more, of course, to have some belief going into the fourth. And it's the Pioneers' mission to prevent that. And the first line of defense is Caden Gosens, and there he is again, winning the faceoff. Easy to play defense when you don't have to play defense, when you have the ball. But it's up for grabs, and the Comets take it after all that. Cooper charging down right wing. Cooper trying to get all the way to the goal. Here's the shot, and maybe Irwin got a piece of it as he claps his hand against his cross, encouraging his teammates to D up with under 2 left in the quarter. Evans to Honig. Waiting for reinforcements off the bench. He has it. Balser takes the pass. Balser in close quarters against Brady Ross, punishing defense from Ross. Middle drive and a rip from Myers, about a foot outside to the left. Maybe a couple of feet. Cooper restarts it, in front, score. Myers makes up for his miss a couple of seconds ago. 2 in a row for Grand Ledge.
Number 7, Mason Myers.
Myers scores his second of the day from Cooper. 1:28 left in the quarter. The margin's back to 8. Nichols taking the face-off against Gosens. Gosens drew it straight back, and there was no one there but him as he anticipated where that ball was going to go. Takes a bump, dropped the ball, kept it as he powered his way over the restraining line. Gosens pass. Portinga getting a chance, and his feet across is way over the head of Gavin Buck. That was Portinga's first touch of the game, if I'm not mistaken. J.C. Portinga, maybe a little jittery there, a lot of energy as he fired that pass way too high. So 1:08 left in the quarter, and Grand Ledge has a chance to make it 3 goals in a row before the break. But the pass was interrupted. Cooper couldn't get it through. Pioneers on the ground. Bennett, Winkle forced the turnover. Here's a driving shot from Gavin Buck that's stopped by Zakshevsky, way out of his crease. Makes the pass ahead. Falling down is Honig, but it stayed in his possession as he fortunately turned over his shoulder, and the ball was right there. Honig over the restraining line. 40 seconds left in the quarter. The Comets trying to inject a little bit of drama into this afternoon tilt on Reeds Lake. Balser backs it out. 30 seconds. High pass. Grabbed by Honig with one hand on the stick. Honig against Wiener. Great battle on the outside. Honig takes the shot. It was blocked and scooped by Zykowski. 14 seconds left. He slings the pass on the money to Jack Bennett. Here he comes, Bennett. Oliver Owen takes a step. He's right there. Bouncing ball. Comes free to Winkle. He lunges and scores. Bennett Winkle dumps it into the open goal with 2 seconds left in the quarter. The Pioneers get their second buzzer beater of the game. Bennett Winkle. Quick thinking, quick action to lob that into the net. He knew he had to get it on goal quickly with time running out. He scores his 4th of the day, his 36th of the season, 16-7 East Grand Rapids. Well, not bad action for a 9-goal game. But the Pioneers worked with urgency to their credit. They got the turnover. Zykowski up the middle to Bennett. Bennett Winkle as well got involved to help create the turnover. And the whistle sounds. The two players won't even bother to hack and whack at each other's sticks to try to get that possession with just 2 seconds to go. So we'll go to the fourth. The Pioneers end up adding on 5 more to raise their lead to 16-7. Grand Ledge connects a couple of times. Back for the conclusion of this one after this break on the EGR Lax Media live stream. Fourth quarter. And we're off with Brogan Bernard dodging a couple of hits and getting the ball to Caden Gosens. Caden Gosens takes the shot. He scores. Caden Gosens, his first of the year. He buries from 10 yards out with a bouncing shot. And it's 17-7. The Pioneers are back ahead by 10. Caden Gosens did it all himself. Won the faceoff. Well, Bernard was also crucial in that, but then Gosens just decided, I'm going to take over. He drove and he scored. I'd like to see him get rewarded with something on the score sheet besides all the faceoff wins he has this year, which are very many to be clear. Almost impossible to count. So he scores 10 seconds into the fourth quarter. Owen has a man on his back trying to get to the goal. Gabe Sexton was between him and the net. New number into the game. Underhill defending against Owen. Winkle, who scored just before the buzzer to end the third quarter. And now the Pioneers can push in this final quarter to perhaps set a new season high for goals scored. They netted 21 at Heartland. Gavin Buck, the bouncing pass. Jake Gosens, can he take it in traffic? No, he cannot. Too much to ask that time. A lot of gold jerseys in the way. So Tyson Cooper runs out of the pack with it. Cooper past Dropke, shooting, and he missed. Irwin trying to win the race, and he will. Quinn Irwin. That's all part of it, realizing as a goalkeeper when you've got to bust it to the end line because no one on your team is back there after the quick counter. Speaking of the quick counter, Stark completes the clear. Bennett, he loaded up, but then he pulls back. And Luke Stark takes it once more. A minute and a half into the fourth. The Pioneers have outscored Grand Ledge 6-2 in the second half. After leading by 6. That'll do for sure. Score was 11-5 at the half. Ross scored to beat the buzzer in the first half, and then Winkle scored 2 seconds ahead of the horn in the third quarter. In front, quick stick score. Winkle again. 5 for number 25 in white.
Number 25, Brett Winkle. That is his 5th of the afternoon.
37 on the season. Oliver Owen picks up the assist. That's his second of the day, 33rd of the year for him. And we've seen that combination quite a bit. Owen to Winkle. With exactly 10 to go in the game, the Pioneers have their largest lead of the day, 18-7. Caden Gosens does his thing. Pump fake, now the pass, a little behind Bernard, unable to receive it. And the Comets have it back. Reaching with his long stick, Underhill. That's one time when the long stick didn't help him. He couldn't quite choke down enough to prevent from being handcuffed by that pass, and so the Pioneers will gladly take the turnover. Back the other way, Ross to Owen, dodges a defender. Oliver Owen, right to the doorstep. Winkle, a fake and a score. 6 goals for Bennett Winkle on the pass from Owen. They do it again. Owen's third assist. Winkle's got a half dozen with 9:27 to go in the fourth. EGR with 19 goals. They lead by 12. Three quick ones to start the fourth quarter, just like the Pioneers did in the third. They got 4 in a row to start the third, in fact. They got 3 in a row to start the first 2 quarters as well. So there you go. That's how you take control of a game. You come out of the breaks ready to go. Gosens to Bernard. Great handle from Will Zykowski with that long stick. Shooting from distance, he puts it in. Will Zykowski makes it 20 with 9:10 to go. Zykowski's first goal this season. The senior connects. He will not be held off the board this year. Count them, 2-0, 20 goals for the Nears. 4 in a row after Grand Ledge scored a couple near the end of the third. And it's a running clock. And how hungry are the Nears for more? Jake Gosens had his stick slashed out of his hands, but it doesn't matter because Wiener follows up, and then 2 Comets collide at midfield, allowing Wiener plenty of time to set up Brady Ross coming down the middle. He hits Gavin Buck, and his shot was pulled wide left. Nears keep it. 8:16 left. And the wind is shifted, coming more out of the southwest. We see that a lot on hot days up here in Michigan. That southerly breeze. It's going to be a warm start to the week, too. It's going to feel a lot more like summer than spring. That's a thing the athletes have to get accustomed to as well. It takes a couple of days of playing or practicing in the heat before your body can make the adjustments. So a day like today, very valuable for Coach KO and his squad. Like I said, still 3 games to go in the regular season after this, even though there's just a week left in the regular season. Long drive from Dylan Buck. That missed everything. But his brother Gavin will be able to trigger it back into play. Gavin to Oliver Owen. Reached out. Look what I found. He's got it. Owen against the defensive Nichols. Tried to feather that pass in the middle, and it was deflected away to the far sideline. Bennett Winkle does win it back for East Grand Rapids. No trouble as he got there first ahead of a couple of gold-shirted Comets. Portinga couldn't take the pass. It deflected off his helmet. And Grand Ledge looks to start the counter. Honig, far side. Pass inside for Sparks, and it's free to Quinn Irwin, or now it is Eckley. Eckley is in goal. So he makes an appearance. Eckley now waiting for his first shot. He's got it. He makes the save on the driving Cooper. Wilson Eckley, the senior, recently earned his first win. That was at Forest Hills Northern. Comments on this ball, though. Dane Evans. Also into the game for the Pioneers, Sully Van Zee, number 33, junior defender. Big body, big reach on him as he's going head-to-head against Honig right now. Honig gets by him. Help defense from Stark. Honig whipped the shot, and he missed. Jake Tiedema's back there as well, number 32 in white, defending on the perimeter. Tiedema plays football as well, so he's no stranger to this facility. Myers takes a shove from Jack Bennett. It's 7-on-7 on the outside behind the goal. Myers chops his feet, looks in front, good pass, better shot, and a goal. Evan Sparks. The Comets break the ice in the fourth quarter. 5:10 remaining. From Myers. I've got him for a couple of assists and a couple of goals this afternoon. 20-8 is your score, but we remain in the running clock mode. Keep an eye on your social media channels for our next broadcast. I will not be able to do the Wednesday game against Grand Ledge, or excuse me, not Grand Ledge. Check the schedule again here. Spring Lake. This is Grand Ledge. Spring Lake coming up on Wednesday. But like I said, hoping for playoffs. If I am able to do some playoff games, it'll be on the NFHS network, courtesy of the MHSAA. So I'll have to connect with them and my good friend John Ross, their director of broadcast, to see if we can facilitate that. That would be awesome. If we can get some postseason lax streamed out there, even if you do have to pay for it that way. Stropke exchanging with Dylan Buck, running right at his defender. 3:50 to go. Buck, one more goal, and the Pioneers will match their season high for goals. It's into the middle, and stop made by Zakshevsky. Side of the goal, that was Owen Stropke wide open. Winkle, Gavin Buck. He's got a couple of guys cutting. He feeds to Fifley. Back to Gavin Buck. One more pass. Winkle, 6 today. Will it be 7? No, it won't, as it missed high to the left. John Barnes is in the game for the Pioneers, joining the cadre of defenders, standing at attention behind midfield. As they watch the offense go to work again. 3 minutes exactly to go in the game. Grayson Fuller gets a touch. Fuller, who scored earlier this season on the road at Forest Hills Northern. Fuller takes a cross check, and his pass is errant to midfield, but not necessarily intercepted. Referee blows the whistle. It'll be Grand Ledge ball. Cooper, who got that first touch. Passes to Honig. 2:30 left. Balser. Far flank and Sparks. Excuse me, that was Honig, rather. 3 on the outside. Olivier shot. That caromed off of Van Zee and off his shoulder, in fact. That had to sting. Jumps out over the end line. 2 minutes remaining. That's one way to block it. Not the ideal way, but you'll take it however you can get it. Balser. He pivoted now. He shuffles his feet, backing off with Ross defending him. Ryan Balser has a goal today. Slows it down. 1.5 minutes left. Ross follows him all the way to the far side. He can't get away from Brady Ross. Balser's feed for Olivier. He gets it on the second chance. Olivier, a whip shot across the face of goal. Wilson Eckley flashed his stick up there, but it missed. The ball stays with the Comets with 1:05 left. Honig wants it, takes it. Heckley made a kick save, I think, there. And the ball's free to the Pioneers. Ross's pass, great one. Led Zykowski beautifully. Zykowski takes it to Ross. Couldn't receive the pass on the first try, but he will on the second. 40 seconds remaining. And will the Pioneers push for one more? They've got some fresh bodies out there, so why not? Although this one is not new to the game. That is Bennett Winkle taking possession. Stropke's back into the game. Gavin Buck. Winkle. 18 seconds. Stropke doesn't look like the Pioneers are going to try to make a move with a 20-8 lead. Final 5 seconds. Fuller to Jake Gosens, and time runs out. The Pioneers pick up win number 12 on the season. Pioneers win 20-8 against the Grand Ledge Comets. They hand the Comets just their third loss of the season. And East Grand Rapids starts the final week of the regular schedule in outstanding fashion as they pour on the offense. They get 4 more in the fourth quarter. Grand Ledge just with the 1. And for the second time this year, East Grand Rapids gets to 20 in a game. Next up for your Pioneers will be on Tuesday at Byron Center, 7 o'clock opening faceoff, then home at Spring Lake against Spring Lake on Wednesday, 7 o'clock as well, and then on the road at Brighton on Friday. So like I said, keep it locked into your social media channels for EGR Boys Lacrosse. One last time from Memorial Field, I'm Matt Gajtka saying have a great rest of your weekend. God bless, and I'll talk to you next time, whenever that next time is, on the EGR Lax Media live stream or the NFHS Network for the playoffs.